ladies and gerbils. I have been asked on a few occasions if I can show how it is I do the recordings and my guitar collection, which is really pitiful, to be honest with you, my actual own guitars. But, you know, due to popular demand, both of you, here's what I do and here's what I use. Let's have a look. So, starting with the workshop, and so these guitars that you can see here, oh right, okay, so that one up on there, that acoustic, which I can't remember what make it is, it's something that you would have heard of, but that belonged to my uncle, who used to play the pubs and clubs and hotels in sunny Blackpool, but since his stroke he can no longer play, so it's here, and one day I will give it a clean up and a setup. The Les Paul you can see we've not reviewed yet, that'll be coming up in a few weeks. That Melody Maker is, Melody Maker, the little Gibson Zero Firebird is really ready to go, to be moved on to a new home. You can see a project there with just one pickup. It's a Japanese thing, and if anybody recognises that logo on the headstock, I'd be really, really grateful if you tell me. The Rally V thing, like an RR3, again, another project, which they're both, the two project ones that I've just shown you, they've been here for years and I've never got round to them. I should just let somebody else play with them. Now, the Yamaha FG, that is mine. I've had that for a number of years and I love it. I like Yamahas, and this one's looking a little bit empty, but the Variax certainly is a guitar that I feel that I can't live without. The Charvel is superb, I like that, and that's been with me for a while, so that might have to stay. The Gibson that you can see there, again, that's been with me for a good few years, and it's one of those quirky Gibsons that they're just so rare. I mean, you've seen it before, but the headstock logo is unusual and in the form of an old school tattoo, and of course it's got that brass fist inlay at the 5th fret. Books, yes, I have mostly guitars and cars and motorcycle and holiday books, I guess. Whiteboard, very, very useful, especially I find when I'm doing wiring projects, and that, or just handy for reminders or what have you. A couple of little cupboards with, you know, soldering, cleaning, lubricating stuff in there, you know, just tool storage, and this big thing here that I rather like, that's very, very useful. So that's it, yes, and here's my favourite tools, or again, tools that I really cannot manage without. I'll be honest, I had a bit of a clean up before I did this, because it was ready for it. So here, notched edge, which is imperative for neck straightness. This of course is a string height gauge, again you just need one. Knob puller does what it says on the tin, but also it has serrated edges so that you can tighten up and undo nuts and what have you. This is a fret rocker, which gets the straight edge gets placed along 3 frets, and then you can tell if they're straight or not. Little box spanner, which I use almost exclusively for tightening up tuning keys. A really, really old wire stripper, can't remember where it came from, might have been Grandad's, don't know. Little fly lead, which is normally used in conjunction with the multimeter, which is used, of course, for well, I use it for 2 things pretty much only, and that's for either measuring pickup output or just a continuity test to see if there's any breaks or flaws. Oh, favourite screwdriver. You know, micrometer, for some fairly obvious reasons. A fret file, that's from Chris Allsop Guitars, as are they're lovely, these, very, very ergonomic and oak handled. And also the fret crowning files here, which are at different gauges. This is brilliant. Just a regular handheld string winder, and the little clipper there is about the best that I've come across. We've got a couple of fretboard guards here, which are used obviously when you're polishing your frets up and you don't want to damage your fretboard. This is my favourite neck rest ever. Yes, it's a pair of sponges, magnetic tray. Oh, excuse me. And you may be forgiven for thinking that it's somebody's birthday coming up, but I've got a new ruse, you see. When I'm packing guitars, I now cover the boxes, you know, if it's an expensive one, in happy birthday, and usually write on, you know, something like love from Grandad Fox or something like that. Oh yeah, while I was having a bit of a clean up, I found this old passport, a British visitor passport. Do you remember these? Blimey. So this is back from 1987. What did I look like in 1987? Well, I was born in 1960, so I was 27 years old when this photograph was taken. Oh my word. Where has he gone? Where's he gone? I wish I could get him back. Anyway, there you go. So, moving on. Oh yes, there's that, the Black Star HT Club 40, which is great, but I prefer the little ID Core 40s, and that's my spare one, right there. I've got a Mac, because the screen's nice and big, and my eyesight isn't, you know, it's okay, serviceable, but not brilliant by any means, and that lovely big screen does help me navigate through what I'm doing. You'll also perhaps notice the Gibson Monitors, and they are no better than any other monitor on the market, but they do look nice, and they say Les Paul, and that is Fred. We don't see Fred very often. Where are you, Fred? There he is. You know what? Yeah, we've got a couple of rugs in the hallway here, which the cats have decided are scratching elements, even though I have explained to them that they do have a massive scratching post. Well, you know, that's life, isn't it? So, this is where the recording gets done mostly. And in addition to the guitars that I've shown you that I consider to be my own, and again, I just can't, these are so weird. Oh, got another cat there. And these are so weird that, again, I feel that I can't part with the damn things. I've got that mirrored Explorer and the reverse flying V. And I really adore them. Particularly the pickups in the reverse V are hand-wound 57s, and they were hand-wound. I can't remember the lady's name, but certainly it was a member of Gibson's female personnel who hand-wound those pickups, and they are the best pickups I've ever played. I'll never take them out of the guitar, because, even though the guitar is impractical and not especially playable, because you can't get past about fret, 15 at a push, because the body's the wrong shape. But my word, if you have a look at Breaking the Law, Judas Priest, the security guard, and this was 20 years before these were introduced, yes, the security guard had a cardboard cutout of a reverse flying V. Okay, so recording wise, as we know, I use this camera that I'm using now, the Canon EOS M50, and it's a mirrorless camera. I don't know what that means, but I do know that I like it. I don't use any plugins, there's no mics, there's just the camera and its internal microphone. That's all I use. So I play the guitar, whichever guitar I'm using, through the little Blackstar ID Core 40 there. And the short story is, I've got a tripod there, of course, which I use. And the short story is that these two massive Sony speakers at the back of the telly, they are plugged in to this really, really old Music Century thing. That's definitely a 1980s job. And so the sound from the TV is amplified through that, and of course comes out through those Sony speakers, and that disappointingly, my dear friends, is all I use. It's just a pair of stereo speakers through a stereo and backing tracks off YouTube, generally speaking. I like that. What a lovely piece of furniture. Anyway, yes, so the other thing, of course, which is probably fairly paramount to what I do, is the green screen that I painted on. You may or may not have seen the video. And it just makes life easier, instead of pulling up and dropping down the green screen, which is underneath the radiogram there. Then, of course, you know, I just set the camera up and hey ho, off we go. Oh, look at the time. So, yes, I don't know if you've ever seen that film, The Exorcist. That bit where the poor young lady is violently ill, but that seems to be roughly the same kind of colour. Now, in what I did, rather mistakenly, but this rug is supposed to be green, and I thought, rather foolishly, that it might still pick up as a green screen, you know, so that I could chroma key it. However, it doesn't work at all, and it's not even really particularly green. And I've even tried chucking the green screen on top of it, and that doesn't work either. So that's everything that I use. Most of the guitars that you'll see, come on, let's have you on here. So most of the guitars that you'll see, where are you now? There you are. Most of the guitars that you'll see have either come in for work or they're ready to go to a new home. They're being moved on. And that really is it for me. So I'm sorry if that was slightly disappointing, but that's it. That's what I use, and that's how I go about my YouTube thing. So thanks all ever so much for tuning in on this cheeky midweeker, and I'll see you at the weekend with something very different. Alrighty, adios amigos. Ta-ra.